Hey guys, I want to show you today how I make my DIY Marley wig. So you'll need a few things. You'll need a mannequin head, some Cuban twist hair, and I have it 16 inches in the color T30. And you'll also need some cold wave rods. You can pick all of these things up from your local beauty supply, and you can't forget that weaving cap. So first, this is an optional step. What I do is I take some conditioner and I simply just co-wash the hair. Now for most hair like Marley hair or Kanika hair, it makes me itch, so I just like to take a quick conditioner to it to kind of help relieve some of that itch that I may experience when I wear this type of hair. So I'm basically going to repeat this step for each pack of hair. I know I showed 3 in the beginning, but I end up using 4. So I'm going to make sure that I rinse all of that conditioner out thoroughly, and then I'm going to cut the hair where the rubber band is down the middle. Now that all of the hair that I'm working with is co-washed, I'm just going to lay it out on a towel, and then I'm going to begin the process of taking each strand and rolling it around each rod. What you see me doing now is detangling the hair a bit, if you will, just kind of pulling it apart a bit so to make sure that the curls get really defined once I add the rods to the hot water. This is kind of another optional step, but I found that my curl pattern was a little bit more crisp after doing this, so this is something that I decided to do. Now you see me taking the hair and simply wrapping it around the rod. Now the way you want to wrap this around the rod is you're basically going to turn your wrist. You see my wrist turning? I'm at a loss to how to explain this, but basically you just want to keep turning your wrist and making sure that you're twisting as you're moving the hair down the rod. Now you also want to make sure to do this tightly so that it doesn't come loose when the rods hit the hot water, but you're just going to keep turning your wrist and turning your wrist and turning your wrist till you get down to the end. Then of course, once you've gotten down to the end, you're going to secure the rod by putting the holder in place. And repeat. Here's a close-up. I wanted you guys to take a look at the technique a little closer so that you can see that I'm twisting my wrist as I add the hair onto each rod. Now I repeated this step for all 4 packs of hair, so it took me quite a while, a couple of hours, but I just threw on a movie and got used to the process. So now I'm adding some hot water that I heated up in my pot, and I'm just adding the hot water to the glass bowl where I put all of the rods with the Marley hair on it, or the Cuban twist hair rather, and now I'm just gonna let that sit for about 5 minutes. To make sure that all of the rods get the proper amount of water, I'm going to take some metal tongs and just push them down so that they will get that curl as well. I'm going to use those same metal tongs to remove all of the rods out of the water after 5 minutes, and I'm going to sit them onto a towel so that the water will leak from them. To help them dry a little bit, I'm just going to fold this towel in half to help evaporate some of that water, and then I'll begin the process of removing each strand of hair from the rods. Now the hot water is going to make that hair curl, but you do want to be kind of gentle so you don't disrupt the curl pattern, but just unravel them as you see fit and make sure you keep it going in the same direction. When you actually latch the hair into the weaving cap, you're going to basically bend the hair in half how you saw me doing before. So that's a close-up of what it looks like. Now here's the fun part, and honestly it's a breeze once you get into a rhythm, but as you can see, I've already put my weaving cap onto my mannequin head, and I'm sticking the latch through a few holes into the weaving cap, adding the hair into the latch and pulling it through those holes. Now truthfully, I started out only doing 4 of the holes in the weaving cap, but as I went on, I had to kind of just play with how many holes I did just because of how the spacing was lining up as the design started to make itself known around the wig. I do recommend 4 holes basically that you take your latch through, but you'll see as you go on, you might have to do 2 or 6 or 5 in some places as you see fit and as you see the design starting to unfold. So I really played that part by ear just because it was turning out differently in certain places, so you have to just kind of use your own judgment for that. Then after I pulled the hair through, I of course pulled that hair through that loop that you saw, and then I secured it tightly. Then after I did that, I just kind of curled the hair back in the direction where it was going so that it would fall appropriately. Now I'm going to show you another close-up. I'm going to put my latch hook through the weaving cap again, add the hair, and then I'll be latching the hook and turning it downwards and pulling the hair through. There again is that hole, and you're going to pull that hair right on through and secure it tightly. Simple enough, right? And again, I'll just ensure that the strands are going in the right direction. And a progress report. So the wig is partially done. I put it on Quentin to see how it's gonna look. Isn't it pretty? Doesn't he look beautiful? How do you feel, Q?
Like an idiot.
Oh, well, thanks for trying it on for my subbies, honey. He's got this little bald spot. We're gonna fix that though. We're gonna fix this. I lost the footage where I tried the wig on, but I do have a couple of pictures, so I just wanted to share this DIY tutorial with you guys. I hope you liked it, and if you want to see more, check out my other DIY tutorials on my DIY project playlist, and I will catch you guys on the next video. Let's get to work. Bye guys.